Hello, and here I am again with my next video on my request list. Now this is going to be a slightly longer video because it's for a life path master 11 with a soul urge number 5, but it's the life path number that gives you double the jobs, the learning, the responsibility in this lifetime. And the only reason why you have got a more difficult life path, you go through a few more struggles in varying degrees when you're a life path 11. But it's because you're an older soul. You know, they give less things to do to people who have still got a lot to learn, and more things to do and more advanced things to learn, more difficulties and challenges to get through, because you're an older soul and you have the resources and the previous life experience to help you deal with it. But it is not an easy path at all. So if you're a life path 11 and you've from the very beginning gone through difficulties and challenges in your lifetime, it's all to teach and evolve your soul. And yeah, you may have gone through more than the people around you, unless some of the people around you are master energies too. So when you're a master 11, when you're a life path master 11, that is the most important number in your chart, as your life path always is. It's not because it's master 11, it's because it's your life path number. So your life path number is your purpose, your reason for being here in the first place. So it always has to be thought about and adhered to, and all the other numbers in your chart exist to support and develop your life path number primarily. So it's the 11, the development of the challenges of the 11 is the most important number in your chart. And you know, you're here to heal people. You're here to channel messages through your psychic ability and your intuition, and read wisdom with your research and your learning, because you're a bit of both when you're an 11, and develop yourself and channel and have the wisdom inside you from your learning, from your channeling, in order to be a messenger, an illuminator to others, spreading your brand new message to others, completely changing things for the better. And there's a lot of challenges in that when you make changes to any situation, or you try to be unique in yourself or to the world in any way. Some people can get quite upset about that, and it can bring challenges for you, but we're going to go into all that. But literally, you're here to bring healing, not just to your home, your area, but as far and wide as you can, you know, to spread your healing, wisdom-filled message to as many people as possible. And the medium for that, the subject for that, as long as it's positive, is up to you. It's just the process of using your message, whatever that may be, to heal other people. Now, I don't know what your talent number for this video is, so we're not talking about ability now. So I'm using these two numbers in isolation, because your talent number will also have a huge bearing in what I'm about to say. So imagine just these numbers in isolation without thinking about the talents, the abilities, or the karmic energies that may be involved. This is just how these two numbers work together, and how they can enhance or increase the difficulties of your path to develop the life path 11. Now, the soul urge number 5 is the scatty adventurous, want to try everything, want to experience everything, quite rebellious, experience driven kind of communicator, performer, quite scatty. And seeing as the life path master 11 lives quite high in the clouds sometimes, the soul urge number 5 will absolutely love to live in a dream world, to try everything, to fly over everything, not necessarily thinking about what they've experienced or learning from it, not all the time, but they'd like to. They're very airy-fairy, very scatty, very adventurous, find it hard to stay still, and find it hard possibly even to stay in a relationship, because the life path master 11 also has difficulties with love, receiving love, giving love, keeping in long-term relationships. And the soul urge number 5 wants to be free. So this kind of combination possibly could find being in long-term relationships difficult too. And getting things done will be quite difficult because they just try everything and they've got all these ideas flowing to them and all these things they do and experience, and they exhaust themselves with their high energy, but not necessarily achieving anything and getting things done to progress or to help people to learn. But they're very good and they really want, actually, soul urge 5s, they want to find their passion, and it's like they'll search the world to find it. And while they're searching the world, they're even more difficult to want to focus on things because they just want to see everything, and focus is boring. Focusing on any one thing for too long is boring. And then of course they got the Master 11 filtering ideas to them all the time. It's a wonder that this combination gets anything done, if I'm honest. So if you're one of them that has this combination and you really find that your motivation and your life path, or the things you need to do, are not getting done most of the time, and how difficult you find it to not only do it, to be able to focus, but also to motivate you to want to focus on any one thing unless you're passionate about it. And if you found your passion already as a soul urge number 5, you're laughing because you can start then trying to walk your path of focus and get your passion out there through your life path 11. Let's blend those numbers up. So life path master 11, this is the difficult path of challenge. Your areas of development to achieve in this lifetime are that you're an old soul, so you've got harder lessons. So you're here to learn fundamentally to manage your master energy by engaging in spiritual practices, to channel healing messages, world-changing ideas and innovations and messages and wisdom, to bring positive world healing. Now I say world healing, this is not a message that should be just spoken to Beryl next door. This is something that needs to be spread out. So using platforms to help you share your message this day and age is a good thing to do. You've got to learn as well to develop your psychic intuitive ability, because you're an old soul, you're really close to the spiritual veil. You have a lot of empathy, you're perceptive, you see, you feel, you smell, you hear, you feel cognitively. It could be all or any of these things. You can look beyond the veil and see beyond what is being said, you know. You're a unique person, here to be proud of your uniqueness, because only unique people can be unique with their creativity. Only unique people can bring unique ideas and be creative that is so unique it makes people think, wow. You know, you're here also to be nurturing in your leadership of others, nurturing and independent and interdependent, always learning, developing yourself mostly, so that you can help it to use alongside what you've channeled and what you feel intuitively, to heal and teach, to improve others' well-being, not just close to you but around the world. However, you must also balance your responsibility to the world, because I know that's a big responsibility, with your own needs. This isn't about only focusing on others and the world. You've got to look after yourself too, otherwise you'll end up ill and exhausted. So it's about balance too. Yes, you're here with a big job as a life path master 11, but you're no good to anyone if you're over exhausting yourself. So next is your motivation and drive, and this affects your life path number, and it can help the challenges and difficulties and learning points of your life path, and in some areas it might actually make it more difficult. Maybe you have a lesson to learn and your soul urge makes it that you don't want to learn it, so you don't do it, you don't try it, you don't bother, But, you know, knowing your soul urge number is very useful to help you think, okay, you know, I might not naturally want to do this, but it's part of my life path to do. So I'm going to exercise self-discipline in order to, you know, try and make that happen, try and learn that lesson, because all our numbers are malleable. You know, just because you're a soul urge 5 doesn't mean you can't try to motivate yourself to do other things and evolve your soul urge number 2. So as a soul urge number 5, naturally and straight away, you're excited to study everything. And as your Life Path Master 11 channels like all these different ideas and concept and bits of information, these varied subjects are going to be very exciting for you. You love to have many experiences and adventures as you search for your passion, your specialism, your mastery that will afford you, you hope, the personal freedom that you desire. You want to be focused on something with great discipline, a passion, a mastery. And when you find it, you want to be motivated to achieve mastery in that subject, but still be able to balance your mastery with your passion for variation and your responsibility to those around you. So it's not only developing that focus, it's also being able to manage that focus, that mastery, and balance with your need that you'll always have for variation and fun. And of course, the people in your life, you know, balancing this can't be easy. So balancing between your mastery, your courageous, adventurous spirit, and your family commitments. You're motivated to follow your own intuitive wisdom, do what you feel that you want to do, trusting yourself when making inner decisions, assessing people and situations. You love to be social, fun-loving, positive, optimistic. You love to communicate, whether verbally or in writing. You don't mind being on the stage either. You don't mind getting up there, and you know, actually 5s don't mind being the center of attention. Actually, they quite like to perform and communicate, to amuse and inform and create positive emotions in others. The Master 11 might get in the way of what you want, but we're hoping what you want will help you develop what you need to do in this lifetime. So let's break down the Life Path Master 11. So fundamentally, you're an old soul with higher potential, higher responsibility to bring improvements and healing to this world. You're here to learn to connect to source energy, to channel brand new, unique ideas and messages in whatever subject or medium that you decide to bring it, in order to bring positive change and healing to this world. And I mean world. You're here to learn to be happy in the limelight. Now, the soul urge number 5 quite wants to do that, so that might help, but it depends on your talent number as well. You've got to blend it all up together to be able to be successful, I guess, in whatever you're here to achieve. So happy in the limelight, expressing new ideas for an audience, developing trust in your massive intuitive potential and your ability to do and say the right thing at the right time. But 1s are underconfident. Double 1s, 11s, they're the most unconfident people on this planet. So it's very hard for an 11 to develop the inner confidence that they need to do what they want in this world, to do what they're good at in this world, because of low self-esteem, self-doubt, worrying about validation or non-validation from others, being oversensitive to people's reactions to them. You know, it can really hold an 11 back from doing what they're here to do. In what I would hope would actually, you know, really help here and help to work with the confidence is being driven in the soul urge 5 to not only be intuitive and follow your own inner compass, you know, be confident inside that you're making the right decision. However, there's this desire to experience many things in the world with your senses, which could inhibit your desire to focus or have any quiet and alone time to sit and channel from source energy. You know, it can be very not only underconfident, but very, you know, outside looking rather than inside looking. So for this element, to achieve your Life Path Master 11, try and focus your attention within in spiritual practice. Now, this is going to need some self-discipline for a Soul Urge 5 who wants to be out there doing things and having fun. To actually spend some time alone going within, it's going to need some self-discipline to develop your own, not only your intuitive ability, but your psychic ability, your perceptions, your sensitivities, and your ability to channel and focus on your unique ideas that you bring from source energy. You're here to learn to be that ideas person, the channeler of all the wisdom and ideas from source energy. But you struggle to bring your unique ideas to reality because it's quick for an 11 to be overwhelmed with energy and ideas, making them to lose interest quickly after the initial idea and then moving on to another idea without actually taking action on the other brilliant idea and then forgetting, you know, or sabotaging yourself due to crippling low confidence, you know, feeling I can't do that anyway, I'm not good enough, blah, blah, blah. You're also quite an idealistic dreamer. So sometimes the ideas you channel aren't grounded in reality or realistic. So it's not just about your ideas, it's whether or not they're realistic. However, if you're a children's book writer or a film writer or anything like that, then reality, that can be bend and twistable. So it depends what message you're bringing. But if you're bringing wisdom to this world for people to learn to actually have a positive effect, you know, it's got to be brought to this world realistically and at the right time for humanity's development level. Your 5 motivation means you want to be confident. You want to be noticed and heard. Now, your confidence could be a difficulty here, especially energy overwhelm from your master energy. You know, it means that wanting to be on the stage or noticed or heard doesn't mean that you're not too fearful to do it, but bring your motivation in as hard as you can and do this. It is your purpose in life to get past your confidence difficulties and love yourself for who you are, your beautiful, unique being that is here to bring unique change. You can't be run of the mill if you want to bring change to this world. So you've got to start loving who you are so that you can be that confident, noticed and heard person that you really want to be. If you have not found your desired passion, mastery, focus, you may choose not to ground and manifest your ideas. You know, lack of interest could cause you to not really want to because you haven't found anything that's really got you. So you've got to find things that get you to help you to ground and manifest your ideas so that you can bring healing to this world. So achieve your Life Path Master 11. Exercise the self-discipline and focus on a strong interest or passion, or focus on finding it. Carry on exploring the world and everything around you until you find something that gets you. Then channel new ideas, innovations, and be unique within your passion with a purpose of positive change and healing. That's all. Okay, no, I say that's all, but that's all in a nutshell. And of course, the subject or medium that you decide to do that in is up to you. So I was, going on about being confident, fundamentally confident in your uniqueness. Lots of people like to fit in this world, but you're here not to fit in. You're here to bring change, to put a cat amongst the pigeons. So I want you to love your uniqueness. It's why you came here. You needed to have this. You can't be an 11 without having some uniqueness, because only unique people can bring unique groundbreaking ideas. So it's important that you're not craving validation from others. You know, your validation should come from your perceptions, your intuitions, the ideas that you channel, that you just know inside you are going to bring positive things to this world. Not a difficult path, because it's your life path. So this is going to be difficult for you to achieve. Your motivation energy in the 5 means you may choose to rebel against convention, first of all. So the 11 isn't here to be conventional, but the 5's going to want as well to rebel against that convention, preferring to be, wanting to be confident, fearless, a free thinker that does what they want in the moment and does what they feel they need to do. They're much less about, in their heart, in their motivation, approval from others. They're freedom lovers. They've got a strong inner compass, soul urge 5s, and they do what they think is right. And often freedom comes before the opinions of others, because that's what the 5 is all about. So use that to your advantage. Support your life path master 11 by communicating like a rebellious 5, your unique ideas intuitively, proudly, fearlessly, and without fear or care about the judgment that may come from that. Not easy, but this is your path, and it's a whole life path. Remember, it's not something you need to do by tomorrow. You know, it might take you your whole life to get to this point, but you've still got to that point. It's a lifelong challenge. You need to bring unique ideas with your proud, unique self that break barriers, that challenge others' comfort zones. Remember, change smashes people's comfort zones. You've got to learn to be brave, confident, as I've been going on about, and willing to take intuitive, not silly risks like the soul urge 5 might push you to do motivationally, intuitive risks that aren't going to put you in a serious situation that is negative. Your 5 motivation energy means that you love to throw caution to the wind and take risks, have fun, be adventurous, and devil may care. You want to be confident, brave, and fearless. Your brave, fearless desire will help you to be more confidently unique and challenge others, as you like to do as a rebel, others' preconceptions and comfort zones, and that all will support your life path 11. You're here as an 11 to be noticed, and your soul urge 5 will make sure that you are noticed with your ability to perform and your ability to speak up and rebel against convention and the norm, or should I say not ability as such, your motivation and drive to rebel and communicate and go against convention, to find the new, the adventurous, the free. You need to be a practical initiator. Now, a lot of the difficulty for an 11 is actually getting it out there, being focused enough to initiate all these ideas that come to them all the time, and they have this energy that hits them like a master energy that is so overwhelming and can cause an 11 great nervous tension and anxiety that can really stop an 11 from not only acting on their ideas, but from being able to focus and even get out of bed calmly in the morning. There are many 11s that the energy hits them straight away, and it's ideas and it's worries and it's sensitivities and all these things hitting them, causing a kind of overwhelm which stops them from being able to not only focus but not initiate anything. And this is part of your challenge to be able to deal with, to be able to focus on an idea and initiate it, to act on the idea, to learn by experience as you go, because the ideas that you channel through your intuition or your psychic abilities or your cognitive knowings will stay unmanifested or be manifested by another 11, you know, until you act. You know, only action actually brings the change that you are here to bring as an 11. Your 5 motivation energy means that you like to do, which is good. because the 11 is here to act. And yes, you do like to do. There might not be much planning involved, and you might perform and execute and act in the moment, but the results of that, not sure what the results of that are unless you have a passion or a focus to have the results of that idea. You know, you might do a lot as a soul urge 5, and you might like to socialize and get out there and do this, do that, do the other. But are you initiating your ideas? You know, it's time to switch your focus to that, because you choose to be more dynamic and flexible, fly by the seat of your pants and learn by experience, you know, and just be a bit all over the place, scattered, doing everything but achieving not much at all, if I'm going to put it bluntly. So supporting your life path master 11, you've got to initiate your ideas. Now, one at a time. You're going to need to focus on ideas that are your priority, one at a time, and keep the other ideas there for later so that you can focus, initiate, act, work on your idea, do your idea, learn by experience, and develop that idea into something that can heal others in a big way. To develop your life path 11, you need to set intentions. Then use spiritual practice and visualization to channel that intense master energy into initiation and action. For an 11, the energy hits them like a waterfall that can be very overwhelming, very nerve-wracking, and almost make them oversensitive and overwhelmed from the minute they wake up in the morning. So it's about using exercise, focus, spiritual practice to set intentions, to channel the energy, not to be causing you overwhelm, but to be channeled into initiation and action on your ideas, because the unchanneled, mismanaged energy of the master 11 and 22 and 33 too can cause intense nervous energy and anxiety. And, you know, spiritual practice, exercise, thinking, expelling your energy on your ideas is the way to go. Now, many 11s unfortunately may go the easy route and sometimes even medicate on unhealthy substances to help calm their energy, whether that be drugs or alcohol or even food can be used when they need to actually be expelling their energy in spiritual practice, movement, setting and achieving their goals in this lifetime, putting their good energy to use and not letting that energy overwhelm them. Now, the motivation in the 5 means that you're interested in learning spiritual topics. You're interested in learning many topics actually, but you may not choose to take the time to practice quiet meditation because you're too busy out there doing things. So exercise might be the best answer for you as a soul urge 5. It depends on your talent numbers and other numbers in your chart, whether that fits totally. But exercise and movement and getting out there as a soul urge number 5, you're going to much more want to do that to help manage your master energy. But finding the time for that going inwards is also important. If you can use a bit of self-discipline to help you do things like that too, to help master your energy, because this huge energy can be extremely overwhelming. It can cause extreme nervous tension and anxiety, and if it's not properly managed by spiritual practice, movement, exercise, focusing on your goals and focusing your brain, you will struggle to achieve anything or even be able to manage the ups and downs of life itself. So to support your life path master 11, engage in daily spiritual practice, walks, cycles or runs in nature to help you manage and focus your energy into initiation, not anxiety. And, you know, spend some time daily, just a few minutes at first if you find it difficult, to just spend some time calm, breathing in through your nose, deep into your stomach, and then breathing out slowly through your mouth. and taking that time to just bring some present moment focus. How does your skin feel? What can you hear around you? What can you see? And just relax and allow the energy to channel through you for as long as you can a day, and hopefully through practice you'll be able to do that not only in the morning and evening but throughout the day whenever you're starting to feel overwhelmed. So anything to help expel that master energy into action is useful. Otherwise you're just going to be full of shakes and nervous energy and nothing's going to be achieved. You're here to learn to be interdependent, not so independent that you push others away and refuse to delegate, or so dependent that you don't do anything with your life. You can't do everything alone at the end of the day. Independence is an illusion. We're all interconnected. So the 5 motivation energy means that your choices may cause you instability, swinging between dependence and independence depending on the success or failure of your latest scheme or project or adventure that you've just taken yourself on. So this can be a bit of a difficult one. You can swing from independence to dependence and back again, because of your risk taking that might not always be intuitive, and your instability in your decisions and your actions and your lack of focus. I mean, it's more fun, but it's not necessarily productive in this world when it comes to helping others or being even independent yourself. So support your Life Path Master 11, communicate and connect to better balance, to be less dependent, and balance your dependence and independence, giving and receiving in equal measure so that you become not too independent but have some independence, but also thinking and being slightly dependent on others so that you're interdependent. That's the whole idea. You need to be determined to succeed as well. You're a Master 11, here to do big things. Not wanting to overwhelm you any more than you often are with your energy. Constant self-discovery, intuitive spiritual development. It's all key for you to develop complete trust in the skills that you have learned and mastered that can serve as a kind of security blanket to stop these feelings of insecurity and terrible low confidence that an 11 can have. Not an easy task, but again, this is part of your lifelong challenge to improve. Your 5 motivation and drive means that you love to learn and develop yourself personally and spiritual for confidence and progress and success. You love to do that, actually. You love self-discovery. You love looking deeper and learning anything you can. You might be a bit scatty and spread out with it, and you might struggle to focus, but you love self-discovery, intuitive spiritual development, and your problem would be buying too many books but not actually finishing reading any of them. You're driven to find and attain past personal mastery and confidently communicate your innovative message that could be the secret of your success. All to support your Life Path Master 11. You're here to learn to be supportive, the nurturing leader. Be firm when you need to be and assertive when you need to be, but also supportive and empathic when you need to be, and to know the difference, to know when to use what skill. You must lead others to the fruition of your ideas, your world-changing message, or that you need to illuminate the world, but with balanced personal power and knowing how to use your personal power. Not easy. Your 5 motivation energy means that you prefer to work as an equal, but you would rather lead than follow, as you dislike following the rules of others. 5s are very laissez-faire. 5s are very do what I feel I need to do. They don't like being managed or told what to do. They prefer to be in an equal footing with people, to be honest. But if they had to choose between leadership and submission, they would rather use laissez-faire leadership than to be submissive. So there's a certain amount of motivation to lead, but there will be very laissez-faire with it. So support your life path master 11. Develop your drive to achieve nurturing, supportive leadership, the kind of leadership that can actually be a bit more attentive to the person's needs, but also attempting to the need sometimes to assert yourself and be firm, and even though you prefer to be an equal to someone else, to assert what you need every so often. Not going to be an easy task for a Soul Urge 5. Your power as a double one causes ripples, both positive and negative. You can aspire to be a healer, or in some cases in this world in the past, there are many 11s that have actually been, I'm not saying you are as an 11, but they have been murderers. You know, there's been some British murderers in this country who were life path master 11s, and they actually hurt people. So you can swing from being a healer, which is what you're here to do, but you can also swing totally the wrong way and hurt other people. The power causes ripples. You're an 11, and your great power brings great responsibility. You could take someone to healing, or you could bury them 6 feet under, basically. You've got to ensure that your intentions are positive. Your 5 motivation energy means that you want personal freedom, and you hate being tied down or fenced in to any form of responsibility to others. You know, you want to have fun and get out there and have fun and experience as much as you can. So to support your life path master 11, you've got to be a bit more attentive to others. You've got to learn to use your power in a way that's more responsible to others and not so selfish, if for want of a better word. Ensuring that your intentions towards others are positive, and taking responsibility for your powerful actions, first of all, and then being responsible for how you make others feel, because remember, you're here to heal people, not to hurt them. You're here to learn to be responsible to others, your family, your team, your group, in a balanced way. So it can swing from too much responsibility to having no responsibility at all. So when you're feeling too much, when you're being too responsible, you ignore your boundaries. You just do too much and exhaust yourself, and then end up being resentful because you've done all this for people and you've exhausted yourself, and you don't feel you've got enough back from that, and that can cause you to feel resentful. Or you can swing completely the other way and feel no responsibility to others. And as a Soul Urge 5, remember, I don't know your talent numbers, but as a Soul Urge 5 in isolation, you're more likely to not want to be responsible to others, to want to just pack your kit bag up and just leave and only be responsible for yourself, because the 5 motivation is an adventurer. They want to be free. They don't like to be fenced in or have things expected of them. You know, having a Soul Urge 5 having to limit themselves and their personal freedom in favour of others' needs is not something that a 5 would naturally choose at first, unless they really feel that calling through their Master 11, which they're likely to feel that, which can cause this clash. Why don't I ever want to do what I feel I need to do? You know, there's the clash for this number combination. So support your life path master 11. Exercise more of that self-discipline and learn to be more responsible and dependable to the team, the group, the family. Balancing others' needs with your own equally. That's not going to be easy for you to be motivated to do, but remember, you are here to heal, to focus on others a bit more, not focus on yourself at all. Oh no, focus on others a bit more and develop towards being a healer and helper of others, not just an adventurer and someone that likes to get out there and have fun and take risks, you know. I mean, there's a place for fun and risks, but it's about balancing your need for fun and risks and an adventure with your mastery and your responsibility to those around you and the world as a Master 11. You've got to develop and improve your social skills, focus on deepening your relationship to make decisions more heartfeltly, more subjectively. It's important as a healer, whatever subject or medium you use, that you deepen your relationships and connect more one-to-one. As I said at the beginning, you may struggle at times to maintain long-term close and romantic relationships. And it can be that you're either really focused on your own thing, or you're doing something else in the world that's focused on what you want to do or the ideas that you're channeling. And it may damage your relationships because you may not always be present or focused when you're with members of your family. You may at times put your imagination, your dreams on your own stuff first, and you may not balance it so well. So 11s need to know when they're working, when they're in their own little dream world, but also when they need to start focusing. I'm with the family now, I need to be present and really connect in a loving way with my family, because 11s can struggle to express love and know how to express love and develop how they give and receive love in this lifetime, which can cause some hiccups in long-term relationships. Many 11s fly in and out of long-term relationships because of this difficulty. Your drive in the 5, though, means that you love variation. So long-term relationships might not be something you really want or care about. You love to socialize, chat, meet new people, laugh, aim, communicate, to captivate others, whoever that may be. You're less interested in committing enough to deepen those relationships. So loads in this combination, you know, they can struggle with their long-term relationships, but they also aren't really motivated to have a long-term relationship. They prefer lots of different relationships and, you know, to meeting different people and, you know, spreading the love, for want of a better word. So it can be the kind of type that maybe just doesn't want to be with the same person all their life necessarily. There are circumstances where the Soul Urge 5 may bring someone into their life on a more committed level, but it's going to be someone linked to their passion, focus and mastery, and someone that loves adventure and travel as much as they do, really. So to support your Life Path Master 11, develop towards, use all the self-discipline in the world that you can to commit to and deepen your key relationships towards more closeness, more trust, for relationship longevity, so that you can start to learn to balance your need for love. Because what you do as an 11, you smother, well, you do either or. An 11 can either smother their loved ones and have all these idealistic expectations that can never be met, giving them standards to meet and really stressing their family out and smothering them with expectations. Or they can swing totally the other way, as I said, being totally self-focused on their own mind, their own ideas, their own innovations, and backing away, not wanting love because of previous experience or lack of motivation and focus, really. That they need to learn to balance their intense need for love that is there inside them, so that they can have some healthy, deep relationships in their life. Now, this is going to be particularly difficult for this combination, not talent-wise. You know, if your talent is a relationship talent number, this is going to be easier, but motivationally, your drive to balance variety, change and adventure with the stability of family, love, skill, mastery, can help a little. So you'll be willing to put some of your time towards your family, which could bring some balance. But you may choose really to back away from long-term commitment as a freedom-loving 5. But a developed soul urge that already has their focus and their passion in life already fixed, and they're already starting to move forward with it, they will be starting to do that and then manage their need for variation and non-commitment with who they have in their life that matters. But many a time, the 5 may choose to back away from long-term commitment because they want to be free to experience whatever they want to experience. So supporting your life path Master 11 is going to be another difficult one. It's about learning to commit, to develop your long-term love, learning to balance your need for love, having, healthy relationships, balancing your intense need to give and receive love to achieve healthy and balanced relationships. Not a difficult one. Might be a lifelong path for this combination. You're here to be intuitive and psychic and perceptive, sensitive to the needs of others. You're here to be of service to others. So the development of your intuition will really aid you in your journey, not only for your inner compass and decision making, independent decision making, but your ability intuitively to read and assess the needs of others that need healing, that need help. But your 5 motivation energy means that it's more about your inner compass when it comes to your intuition and less about assessing the needs of others. It's just what you choose to do. You choose to run your life with your own intuitive voice as your compass, but you're less inclined to want to, or to even think of wanting to use your intuition to look deeply at another and assess their needs. So support your life path Master 11. Learn to use your keen intuition that you already use for your inner compass to be a bit more sensitive to the needs of others, to look at others a bit more closely, so that you can start to learn step by step to be more of service to people, thus the world eventually, and not just your own needs and your own desire for fun and adventure. You're here to learn to work alongside others, to be the cooperative team player, to get the job done as part of a cohesive team. But you can be, as part of your Master 11, quite a disruptive drama queen. And as a 5 motivation energy, you prefer to work within a team, you love to chat, you love to cooperate, but you can be a bit unfocused, and you do love a drama and a little bit of conflict that you can watch and have fun with. You strive to be the humorous life of the group, and this can sometimes disrupt, the progress of the group. Your passion for communication, excitement, varied experience can sometimes cause disruption in your cooperation and the cohesiveness of the team. And 5s can be motivated drama queens, stopping the job from getting done and reducing team efficiency because there's just so much more fun things to do. So you love other people, you love being around others, but you can be a bit dramatic, argumentative, you love a bit of drama, and that can sometimes be with an 11 already being prone to being argumentative and a little disruptive. This passion and motivation and the drive to actually bring that forward, to laugh or be surprised or have fun, can actually make this situation work. So this is not going to be easy. You've got to be more cooperative. You've got to get the job done a little bit more without disrupting it with drama. To support your life path Master 11, exercise the self-discipline again, to ensure that you stay focused on team, group, family, tasks, things you need to get done, especially for your ideas, to get the job done effectively, so you can ground and initiate your ideas in this world and other things in your life that you need to get done and ground and initiate and work alongside others to achieve. You must develop boundaries. You're here to be a healer, but you've got to look after yourself too. Boundaries to being overworked, even walked all over, taken advantage of, taken for granted. Healers often are taken for granted. And many healers like 11s, they often people please and they shapeshift. They change who they are in order to please others or to keep the peace, because 11s, fundamentally 11s aren't supposed to really like conflict, but the soul urge 5 might sort of temper that a little bit, because 5 just loves a bit of drama. So anyway, don't be a shapeshifter. You've got to consider yourself too. It's not just about healing others. So your 5 motivation energy means that you're driven to be a rebellious freethinker who hates being restricted, tied down or told what to do. Which can balance, we hope, your tendency to shape shift, to bend to fit others' needs to your own detriment, doing too much for others. Having a balance there is really important. So to support your Life Path Master 11, assert your boundaries when you're tired and refuse to be taken advantage of. Yes, you're a healer, but you decide when you heal and who you heal. You're not here to be walked all over or exhausted. Don't suppress your own will or your own opinions just to please others. And many soul urge 5s are rebellious and are more likely to want to argue and rebel against the situation. So this element might be a little bit better, a little bit tempered by your motivation in the 5 to look after yourself and be a bit more rebellious and not allow people to overwork you, not allow people to walk all over you or take advantage of you. This is not what a soul urge 5 wants to allow in their life. You're here to serve the world, help the team, help the task, be dependable. You can always be relied upon when you're a developed 11 to keep the cogs turning behind the scenes. People being able to depend on you to get the job done. The 5 motivation energy, the 5 soul urge, means that your dependability is very variable, and it's linked to your own passions and your own interests and not necessarily being dependable on others' needs. You're not here to be directed by others. You've got your own things to do and your own experiences that you want to have as a soul urge 5. And then you've got the initial difficulty in the 11 that you may struggle to be dependable and responsible to others as it is. And when your motivation doesn't really want to be dependable to others, unless it's linked to your passions and interests. So if you found your mastery, you're more likely to want to be dependable in order to bring that forward and indirectly bring healing and help and support and be dependable to others. But it's got to go through your mastery. You're not going to choose to do that unless it's through something you love, because when motivated, you're more energetic, you're more cooperative, and you're more likely to be dependable on things. But until then, this could be a little bit of a sticky situation, your dependability to others. So support your Life Path 11. Endeavour to have that mastery in place first of all, so that you can be more committed and dependable to looking after the group's interests as well as your own, and being a bit more dependable outside your mastery for your family and people that need your help around you. Not going to be easy for you to do, but don't beat yourself up about it. Others might, but you got to let that go over your head, because these are part of your personal difficulties in life, and you can't let people blame you, judge you, or bring you down for that. It's just something that you need to develop. We all have things we need to develop. We're here to be, or you're here as an 11, to first of all bring ideas that put a cat amongst the pigeons and bring fast, positive change to this world, so that it hits people's comfort zones and really puts a cat amongst the pigeons. And it can actually cause quite a lot of conflict, as you know. But when you've done that, because you know it's going to bring positive change, you're also here to be part of the bringing the situation back down. The mediator, the tactful mediator of the situation, the team, the group, the family, helping to resolve any conflicts that either arise in your family and outside world, or conflicts that your brand new ideas and messages bring to this world. You know, you've got to resolve conflicts, but for the good of everyone involved, being a mediator. But 11s normally can't handle conflict. They're too sensitive to the world around them. So people shouting, loud noise, bright lights, anything that hits their sense, you know, they've already got energy hitting them like a boom, boom, boom all the time. So more drama in the outside world is often really overwhelming for an 11. So they often run away from conflict instead of trying to manage their energy and trying to mediate the situation. The 5 motivation energy means, okay, you might not hate drama as much as a normal 11 would. Because 5s love a bit of drama and excitement. You might even choose to be part of, or even responsible, depending on how you feel, for the disruptive drama and conflict. You might be in the thick of the drama and conflict rather than actually being the calming voice that is here to be the tactful mediator, to resolve the conflict so that everybody is satisfied at the end of it. So with this path, you're either going to hate conflict or you're going to love it, but you won't necessarily bring it to a positive fruition unless you develop yourself and your ability to manage the arguments, to be more tactful and mediate the arguments rather than enjoying them, for want of a better word. So support your life path master 11 by dropping the drama and being more cooperative, getting things done, mediate the problems. So you've got to deal with your 11 sensitivity, which will also be a factor, but also your inner love, actually, of liking a bit of drama as long as you're far enough away from it, but you don't necessarily want to be part of the mediation process. And that's what you're here to do. So more self-discipline needed to be more cooperative, mediate and resolve conflict for the good of the team, the group, the family. Sorry about that. You're here to learn to plan the next steps after channeling your message, to build the idea, to build a team to achieve it. The energy of the 11-2 needs to be the nurturer of ideas and the builder of teams, which again can be a bit shaky for a 5 who loves to be around people but isn't necessarily always productive unless they found their mastery. So your 5 motivation energy means that you choose not to plan, really. You like to just do and see how it works. Unless it's linked to your mastery, of course, you would rather just act and learn by experience most of the time. You know, when it's your mastery, you might be more likely to want to plan and get the situation right. But normally, you know, you're more about flying by the seat of your pants and seeing what happens. So planning could be something that you're not really interested in doing, but you're going to need to use a bit of self-discipline again, I'm afraid. You would enjoy building a team. You know, you love people, you love communicating, but it's got to be an effective team, you know, not just a team that brings you the most fun and enjoyment and laughter, Soul Urge 5. So support your life path master 11 by nurturing your channeled messages. Not an easy thing to do, as we've said throughout this video, nurturing your channeled messages and ideas, but also with planning and effective team building. Remember this, I never said that this was an easy path to follow, because you've got to have your own kudos here. This is about using your intuition to trust your inner compass, to make your own decisions, because sometimes the underconfident, sometimes potentially overwhelmed 11 can judge themselves on what everyone else says or what they think people think of them. You need to develop your internal compass and turn inward for validation and do what you think you should do, because you're the intuitive old soul and you've got higher perceptions and more cognitive wisdom. And what you say, what you channel with positive intention is the right thing to think and say and do. Your 5 motivation energy means that you always choose to prioritize your own inner compass anyway. You know, you're unlikely to choose to be led by the opinions of others. You like to be strong-minded and know what you want. You're unlikely to be worried by others' opinions of you because, in your opinion, there's plenty more people, fish in the sea, if they don't like what you're doing. You're quite... I don't need to worry about what they feel. I'm free to do what I feel is right, what I feel is intuitively right, and I will follow my own inner guidance. So in this way, the Soul Urge 5 can be really helpful to this element of the 11. So to support your Life Path Master 11, continue to turn inward for your validation and do what you intuitively, with positive intention, think or feel or know is the right thing to do. Now, I hope you've really enjoyed this video today. If you haven't already, please subscribe and follow me. If you'd like a reading, please email me at katie@soulexplorer.net and we'll bring all your chart numbers together and give you a full reading of who you are as a person, what you're here to do. And we'll even look at your pinnacles and your personal year challenges to see where you are and what's best for you to do at any one particular time. You might just want to request a video, so you can just comment on here, or maybe just ask me a question, or maybe you just want to like and acknowledge me. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn and Twitter, or you can support me on Ko-Fi and Patreon if you like. I have books on Amazon and courses on Udemy, and the connections for all of that is in the description box below. The final book of my numerology readers trilogy is here, and here it is. Here is the front cover, and this is all 3 in the trilogy for you here on the screen. But first of all, this is my first book. Well, it's like a prequel book, and it's for beginners in numerologies, and it's grounding for newbies and shows all the number energies in a personal chart. Then you have the first of the trilogy, and it's more for intermediate numerologists, people that want to really break numerology down and start using it as an art. It provides a deeper analysis of the lessons and challenges of your life path and birthday energies. So the reasons why you're here, a concise list of your priority life path tasks and your secondary life path tasks. They're not linked because the first column on the left is the most important column for you to work on, but also using the influence of the right hand column to achieve the lessons of your life purpose. Then looking at how your life purpose energies blend with all your talent numbers in your chart. So this is again the second in the trilogy for intermediate numerologists that provides an analysis of the lessons of the life path as they correspond with your main talent expression number, and it can be used for the numbers too. And then the third and final and new book of the trilogy, my intermediate numerologist books, which provides analysis of the lessons of the life path and the soul urge, and that's the motivation, a lesson by lesson comparison of how driven and motivated you are to learn the lessons of your life path. These 3 books can be used if you want to be a numerologist. However, if you just want to learn it for yourself, then just the first book, Remember Your Plan, will be for you.